Welcome to Factorio Beltalowda recap number 7. My name is Nilos, and this is, the recap of what has happened over the last week or so on the Twitch streams. There is first thing is since there's been some satisfactory content, there have been fewer streams. That means less progress. But there's another reason why there's been less progress. Let's start diving into the progress that we have made. And so as we left off for the previous summary, we were working on the purple science, and that has now been completed. You can see here, working pretty well, and not perfect, absolutely. Also, why is this one not balanced? It should be. But we have 4 out of the 5 lanes needed for the iron in order to fill up this one and keep this one working steadily. You can see there is still a nice fat stockpile. Everything here is working, and it's like a giant build, to be honest. Just building a lot of stuff here. Plastic plus green, and just like copper and iron to go into green. Copper to go plus green plus plastic to go into red. Reds go in here. Gets used in those 2 locations. It's all looking very nice. But it takes a tremendous amount of space. One other thing that we have made big progress and strides towards is the proliferation of the sacred grid. Only this part of here is missing at this moment. It's also a matter of finding the new places for where the space, making new space, basically. Because although we're pushing back, like this one is kind of the very heavy focus right now and getting that one out. Then will that really reveal a lot of space? Well, not really, unless we are able to take these lines out here, so that we get like maybe 5 lines next to each other that are completely free. Also, this one is still haunting us. It served us really well, but is it time? One of the big things that is now coming up, this one has been extended as well, now leaving 4 lanes completely working really well. A lot of restructuring here and there, so this is producing a nice bit of plastic. Not quite 2 lanes, but almost 2 lanes. Going down here with the other plastic, that's also for this one, which is a bit of a shame because this one should actually be redone into that one. This one takes slightly more power since it's 1 speed plus 2 efficiency, while this one is just 3 efficiency. This one takes basically no power, while this one takes a bit. But we can use a bit of power to make. I mean, I'm not going to call this a compact build for sure, but it's better, more compact-ish. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What I really like to build is large-scale, efficient, aesthetic builds. Now let's look at how we're achieving this in this build. Now I think that given the constraints, this is a nice build. It aligns. It's aesthetic in terms of having my grid, but how am I going to convert this to the grid? We're really at a point where I'm making big builds out here, like this giant build for blue circuits, this giant build for low density, this giant build for green circuits, plastic, rocket fuel, purple science, blue science. Also built a little sulfur build here. Those are all big builds that in themselves they're aesthetic, but they don't fit very well. Because one of the next things is going to be, okay, if we want to make yellow science, because that's kind of the obvious next step. That means blue science or blue circuits, got it. And low density, all right, got it. If need be, we can just double it somewhere. And then the next one is flying robotic frames. We do have flying robotic frames on the bus, and they're being built. But if we look at it, go. That is right there. So it's just really sluggish. Also, since we don't have batteries, so batteries are another thing that I must do. But let's walk through this one. So in order for us to make yellow science, we need robot frames. In order for us to make robot frames, we need 2 things: batteries and electric engines. In order for us to make electric engines, we need engines. Engines are not a problem because we have them already crafted here. So we can just copy this one. It works quite well. But electric engines, that means lubricant. So we need to make a lubricant build. We need to make an electric engine build. We need to make a battery build. And for the battery build, we need to make a sulfur build. As sulfuric acid. But that's small. But it's basically a sulfur build. So And then at the end of that, we have to bring it all together to a robot frame build that we then have to bring over to our yellow science build. Now, the more I think about it, the more it just, it's going to be a huge build. I don't have a problem with it. But I can't build it in one place. Look at how much space this takes. And it would basically take the whole of this one. And then it would have to be like on either side. But even then, we might just start like sulfur, batteries, that kind of thing. So as you can hear, that I'm kind of working my way towards, there is a problem here. If there's a problem, we're going to have to find a solution. Now, I would like to have the bus work in a different way. Basically, if we could put engines on the bus, then I could take out engines for the blue science. I could take out engines for the electric engines. And if that turns out to be not enough, then wherever I build my engines, I would have to scale that up additionally. Now, I don't want iron, I don't want copper, I don't want steel, I don't want stone bricks, coal, plastic, green circuits. All of those things I don't want on the bus, because all of those are things that I have dedicated builds for. If I want copper, plastic, iron, green, steel, stone bricks, those I can build as needed. However, it is when I need to build stuff like this, I need to draw off the sort of common build, and that means the bus has to be rescheduled or reconstructed. Because at this point, I'm building a giant build of engines for blue circuits, but am I using it? Not really. Not really very much. Obviously, that's because none of this is not really working. The reason why this is not really working is because something else is a bottleneck. So I'm at this point, I'm very, very close to the great deconstruction, which will be a matter of redoing a lot of the builds and just trying to make space. Now, there are only really a few places that this could happen. If I am to build a new bus, it really has to be in one of a few places. These are actually emptying-ish, and because they're emptying, they will be, because this is consuming a lot of coal, and this is consuming a lot of coal. There's actually 8 lanes of coal. We're now almost 8 lanes of coal at least we're consuming here. Then I could be building it like making the bus this way. Oh, hello, autosave. Anytime now. Thank you. I could make the bus this way. That's a lot of stuff that has to be destroyed, and I would make it close to this line, so it would start making it basically in here. Maybe that one, and then you can already see that it's... I could also just make it like completely solid build. Don't know exactly, but I do want to build it in between these builds here. Between that one, I know I'm doing something forbidden. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6, and I could also do 6 from the other side, or I could do like, I could do this one. That'll be like waste of space, but it's probably like I'm going to do it. So I have 8 lanes within, but remember, I'm not going to take copper and steel and iron and stone, all the ones that actually take many lines. They'll be built from the outside. So the idea would be that we build something on the bus, and we build something that we build branches off. So if I build this one, I'll build it and then put it on the bus, so that the only thing that really branches off the bus are a single line that inputs things to the bus from either end of the bus. These things here obviously go to this side. Blue science or blue circuits comes in from this side, and then what I build off the bus is primarily the science and maybe some of the subcomponents of science, because this one, it doesn't actually take a lot of space, and I don't mind building this with modules, or at least with some kind of speed modules here. That would be like, I don't need it to be this conservative on power usage. And then I'll basically say, all right, if I'm going to build an engine build, I can build it wherever I like. So I can build an engine build here. If there's, here for example, if there is a room for an engine build, I build the engine build, And all I need to worry about is bringing up the first line into the new bus. But I can't just keep reusing the same lines here. So if I can put that in, there are none of these things that require iron. Because I'm not going to make batteries off the bus. I'm not going to make engines. I'm not going to make this. I'm going to grab it. Basically then, if I make engines here and put it on the bus, and then I make electric engines, I can just branch them off the bus at anywhere during this location and build it, let's say, up here, because I decide that's a great place to build electric engines. And then I just feed it back in. The electric engines feed it, in this case, reverse on the bus. And when I then build the robot frames down here, because whatever, then I take the batteries that were built here, brought into the bus, fork it out of the bus, and then build the robot frames, put it back. And then finally, somewhere on the bus, I will be making the different sciences and the satellites. The only one that I wouldn't, this one though, also have to be built off the bus, so that I bring belts back that like half, maybe even half a belt of each. I think that might be just build a build like this. And again, let's take this part here as an example. I would make steel, copper, iron, and green circuits locally. If, let's say, I'm building it down here, I would build all of those things locally, because that's helping out, carving out more space. I would then take the batteries, because that's the only advanced product, take it from the bus, even if I have to drag it all the way down here to feed it there, because then I have one single location where I know that if I now don't have enough, if I don't have enough batteries to satisfy this, I can go back to my battery build. Let's say that's down here, fix it, and then feed more into the bus. So it's going to be a bus build, because I don't have trains and I don't have robots. The alternative is making it robot based, but the main reason why I don't want to make it robot based is simply because it's going to be robots are not very good for the graphics algorithm, and they just make everything really blurry. Plus, it's not aesthetic just having long lines of robots flying everywhere. So I want to avoid that aesthetic feel of it. And so that's kind of my thoughts. And that's probably what I'm going to be engaging on over the next week, which means I will probably stop a lot of the progress on science and a lot of other things that will just be completely deconstructed. These things are pure copy-paste from here down to that one. So I just have to make sure I don't lose any blueprints. But I think I want to start it here, work my way that way, do a thorough planning of what I need to do put on the bus for every single item that has to be less than a full blue belt. Because anything that's more than a blue belt is probably not worthy of putting on the bus. Maybe the exception is red circuits that I will need more than one belt of, and then we'll take it from there. And if I need 2 belts of red circuits, so be it. But I don't want 4. But, you know, those are the things we can figure out. So that's going to be the plan in order for me to scale up, because I want to try to scale up. And if this screws up or it becomes boring or anything, they will probably just drop the series. Yeah, I know. But I want to convert everything. This also means we could get rid of this awfulness as we start progressing into being more rigid on this design. I hope you like it. I hope that serves a bit of explanation. This is what I'm going to be starting on. This is what I'm probably going to be starting on over the next streams. So we'll be, of course, engaging with the people on the stream about whether this is a good idea, bad idea, how I should do it, where I should do it, all that good stuff. So with that, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you over on Twitch for the continuation of the series, or if you don't have the time or capacity or desire to do that, you can of course watch these weekly catch-up videos. Thank you for watching. As always, stay effective.